So here we are with yet another ThinkX session. And today, as they've introduced to you, we are going to talk about mental wellness and why it is so important to have a healthy mind in the pandemic times. I am going to present my screen. Give me a minute.
And while you do that, Aniket, it's Viral, not Deb.
Viral.
That's all right. That's all right.
I was waiting for Chandru to jump into. Thank you, Chandru.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, all good. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Aniket.
All right. So, as you know, maintaining mental health in the pandemic times. Before we actually jump into the topic, I have a question for you guys. And my question is, Dave, can you help me with it?
Viral, he's asking you to help him with the question.
Yes, please. Have you changed me to being the host?
Just a moment. You want me to run the poll, Aniket?
You can run the poll directly there. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. And it's done. Let me know, Viral, when you want me to end it.
Yep. Let's wait for the poll to at least get, let's say, 50
Hey,
votes.
host and panelists can't
We
vote.
can't vote, Dhruvam. No, unfortunately, we can't vote.
Is it you have created it that way, or is a Zoom limitation?
Dave, would
It's
you know
Zoom
if it's
standard.
a Zoom limitation?
Yes, Viral and Tanya, it's Zoom limitation.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I probably can go around the table asking the panelists what they think. Do you think mental health is a taboo?
Nothing is a taboo.
It is a taboo.
It
The
is
only
definitely.
why is it a taboo?
To a large extent, yes.
Yeah. See,
No, it is not.
It is not. Okay, Dhruvam says it isn't for sure. Chandra says it is. All right. Kushal, what do you think?
personally, no, but I know if you look at a lot of people around, I know a lot of people around who still feel discussing mental health is a taboo. Yeah.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Tanya, what do you think?
I think it is changing now.
It is changing.
Yeah, we have started talking about it. Yeah, so I think it's definitely changing, and people are accepting it. And the most important is to accept.
Absolutely, you're right. Bang on. Marilyn, what do you think? Do you think it's still a taboo?
It is to the large portion of our country, I guess. At least in the corporate sector, it is open now.
Okay. Fahim, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
He
You're on
already
mute,
wrote you.
Fahim. Sorry. Fahim, you're on mute. Fahim, we're not able to hear you.
No, I don't think it's a taboo. It's a personal opinion, and if we can talk about so many things related to health, why can't we talk about mental health?
Absolutely. Sima, Srini, you have any thoughts? Do you think it's a taboo?
I would agree with Tanya, what she had mentioned, but
All right.
there is a significant change from the last 1.5, 2 years time for sure.
Absolutely. Last thoughts from Srini. Do you have anything, Srini, from your end?
No much, as in, of course, a vast majority still view this as a taboo in the sense, discussing about mental health, like a well-being. But like what Tanya and the others mentioned, as in there has been a shift, of course, at least in the recent years,
Yeah.
and the perception is kind of changing. People are now they feel more free to come forward and talk about their mental issues, and on the flip side there is a good amount of acceptance among the audience as well. At least lately we see that getting better by the day.
Cool. Thanks, Srini. Thanks everybody for sharing your thoughts. Deb, do you want to share the results of the poll?
Sure.
At least on the panelist, I thought we had a mixed reaction. I'd say 50-50. But what do we have from the audience? Oh, the audience says otherwise. 64% feel that no, it is no more a taboo. Very good.
Very, very good to know. That's good to know, actually.
I'm glad. Thank you, team, for sharing your thoughts. All right, Aniket, we can continue.
I'm actually super glad that the percentage of no was much higher than yes. And yes, absolutely, as Tanya said, that things are changing. And I feel that with the advancing era and with the available information 24 by 7 on Google, it is becoming much more comfortable for people to accept the whole idea of mental stability, mental illnesses. And because they have the knowledge right now, they are becoming more comfortable with it to accept it in the first place and then come out and talk about it. And I think this is something really important for the society that we live in to progress, not for just themselves, but also for the future generation, so that the future generation have better days than what we have today. Now, coming back to the presentation, before jumping into the topic, of course, thank you for the poll, guys. Let us go ahead and set up some expectations that we, as a group, will be doing in this session. First thing will be I will be needing active participation from you guys. Try and be as non judgmental as you can be. Of course, this is a sensitive topic which has to be addressed, and this is the reason that we are here today. If you feel comfortable enough, please let us know. Come ahead and share your part of the story with everybody so that more and more people understand the fact that it is okay to be nervous sometimes. It is okay to have a mental illness. Be aware of your own mental health throughout. If you figure out something about yourself throughout this session, I will be more than happy to assist you into anything that you want. If you want to analyze yourself or if you want any kind of help, please reach out to me. I will be more than happy to do it. Take a break if you need to. Everybody deserves break every now and then make a safe learning environment to make people feel comfortable enough to be as honest as they would like to be. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to be honest in many scenarios. So let's try and give them the space so that they can come forward and talk about it. Now, this is the very basic definition of mental health available on Google. But then, if you ask me personally, what I think is mental health is one's capability to do daily chores and take decisions of day to day life without being overburdened, overwhelmed, or being too stressed about it. And I'm talking about very little things that you come across every now and then. Of course, on a bigger perspective, when you talk about the same, about big decisions that you hate, that you have to make in life, that will take a toll on you. But when we are talking about mental health, the very base is if you have the ability to work in daily life, taking day-to-day decisions, and if it does not stresses out you are much, then I think that you may have a moderate mental health, and which is good enough. I think so. Also, let me tell you that mental health is as important as physical health, right? We most times we try to ignore it. Most of the times we even try to suppress it, but that is something which is not healthy, and that is something that we as an individual have to work on so that our mental health being stable, we can progress in life individually and also as a society. Now, also because mental illnesses are not like actively visible to the naked eye, it becomes much more important to take to keep a keen eye on them, make sure that we are aware as to what exactly is going on so that we can have a better future, not just for ourselves, but again, as I said, for your near friends or family. Although let me tell you, mental illnesses does not always, lead to mental hospitals. So if anybody of you had that question, I think you guys can relax. So I did some Google before I did this presentation, and according to the Psychological Survey of India, 3 among 10 people had mental illnesses earlier, and after the pandemic times, the 3 out of 10 number has now come to 6 out of 10, which is double. So, and given the population of India, I think this is a huge number and something that we definitely cannot ignore. Um, let's talk about mental well-being and how important it is. So mental well-being, according to the definition, it is how you're feeling and how well can you cope up with day-to-day life. Like we just discussed, your ability to take decisions on a daily basis for little things. Now we have to understand that mental well-being is a very dynamic thing. Okay, it changes every now and then. Nobody is happy all the time and nobody is sad all the time. You can wake up one day with a very good mood. You might make some really nice plans, some productive plans. You might think, okay, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do that today. But after a couple of hours, you might find yourself feeling low. And eventually you cancel on the plans that you yourself make. I want you to know that it's okay. It is really okay. I mean, it is not necessary that you feel happy all the time, you feel contented all the time. That's not what real life is, right? I mean, that's what movies have told me. Did Yashraj play his part? I don't know. But okay. But after the pandemic that we have gone through, honestly, I cannot believe anybody who does not feel like screaming most of the times, because that is something that I'm going through. And this is the reason that I chose this topic, so that I can come ahead and speak about it. Now, moving forward, what does good mental health look like? Again, guys, let me tell you, these are some of the common points and not everything, right? So the first thing is recognize the good in yourself, such as positive attributes, achievements you have made. What what this point means is give importance to yourself, right? Right from the beginning, from the childhood, I'm sure you have put your energy into multiple things, and suddenly after coming to a point, you feel that I have not achieved anything. I think that is a key factor where you can gauge yourself that you are putting yourself down. You're not giving the importance that you should to all the energy that you have put into your achievements in the past. Feel and express a range of emotions. People who are going through depression can experience this very commonly. They tend to become numb, and they do not indulge in themselves into a lot of activities, so they restrain themselves from feeling a lot of things. Feel engaged with the world around you. um, of course, see, before pandemic, we used to go out a lot. We used to meet our friends. We used to like socialize a lot. We talk to a lot of people. So back then, good mental health was you engaging yourself into conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues, your relatives. No, relatives is too much. No, but then you get my point, right? um, Live and work productively. So if you do one productive thing a day, so at the end of the day, if you feel that okay, that was something productive that I did, maybe read a book, learn about something new, maybe cook a dish, like it's more than enough. Try and be a little bit productive, so that you understand your mental health scenario as to where it is, and then cope with the stresses of daily life and manage times of change and uncertainty. Like I said, life in pandemic has become very mundane and stagnant, and like most of us are not indulging into multiple things like we used to before, right? And this somewhere is constructing our dynamic mind, and that's where all the problems start. This is something that I personally feel. What are mental health problems? Again, mental health problems can affect us irrespective of age, personality, and background. It will not matter where you're coming from. It will not matter what kind of work you do, what's your sex. It will not matter what kind of background you have. It will not matter what family you comes from, what you come from. I think at the end of the day, it is all a game of experiences, right from childhood. The kind of experiences that you carry, they play a huge part as to what kind of mental health problem you can pick up, and what kind of adverse effect it can have on your health. They include a wide range of experiences and can affect the way people think, feel, or behave. Again, like I said, these mental health problems can be an adverse effect on how you deal with the day-to-day life, the kind of decisions that you take, the way you socialize with people, and the way that you think about future. Right? It all can be affected by mental health issues. They can appear as a result of experiences in both our personal and working lives, or they can come about without any easily identifiable cause. Of course, we as an individual, we do not have control on these things, right? We never have control on what is happening in our life. We can only control it to a little bit extent. But then whatever happens, as they say, happens for a reason. And at the end of the day, it is your responsibility as an individual to understand what is going on, realize what you need at that point of time, and then work on it. Some problems may be mild or moderate, while others may take on a more severe form, affecting a person's ability to cope with day-to-day living. Like I said, experiences, right? Some people may have good experiences, while other people may have really harsh experiences while growing up, and that affects them in the childhood. So, depending on the kind of experiences every person goes through, and again, this changes from person to person. So, I think that depending on the level of experiences or the severity of experiences or trauma they go through, um, this will keep changing from every now and then. Now, poll time. Babe, can you help me with the next poll now?
Sure, Aniket. Here you go.
Dave, have we received at least 50 votes by now?
Yes, and this time, yes, are pouring in, Viral.
As expected. Okay. All right. We probably could end the poll in the next 5 seconds. Cool. Dave, thank you.
And
If you could
done.
end it and show the results. Wow.
Wow. 84% people said yes. All right. So now
Hey, Aniket,
that,
before we go forward, do you yourself feel low or exhausted sometimes?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely, all the time. I have no control on it.
Cool. Let's move forward. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now let's talk about types of mental health problems. These are not, this is not everything that there is in the bucket of mental health problems, but these are the few that are very common ones, especially for the Indian audience. And among all these, let's talk about four which are very, very common, right? Anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and PTSD, which is post traumatic stress disorder. Anxiety is mostly linked with stress, can be coming from a personal life or a professional life. Depression is usually linked with overthinking and over evaluation of scenarios. Um, Now, I want to address something really important here about obsessive compulsive disorder. We all know Monica Geller from Friends, right? And her OCD towards cleaning things. People tend to adapt things from the sitcoms they see. I have a couple of friends who say, "Oh my God, I have OCD. I have to clean things. Otherwise, I cannot sleep." Just because you like living in a clean environment and just because you clean things every now and then does not mean that you have an ECD, right? Does not mean that you have OCD. If if something affects you personally on a mental level and also on a physical level, if something is not clean and you start sweating, and if something is not clean, it gives you anxiety attack, that is something which can be classified as an OCD. And I think the same goes for insomnia as well. So many times on Instagram, I've seen people posting pictures at 2 or 3 in the morning saying insomniac, can't sleep. Just because you cannot sleep for a day or two, you're not an insomniac. All you need to do is work on your diet, maybe. Or insomnia is something really important which needs to be addressed with medication and proper exercise. So I think this scenario where people think that taking names of mental health just to sound cool is very wrong. It's wrong on a very different level. I myself feel very broken sometimes, and sometimes I do not even have the proper platform to talk about it. I think lately life has become like a broken refrigerator. Like I'm all cool outside, but inside I'm like broken, and I don't know what to do about it. So that is something which should be addressed, and like taking names of mental illnesses in the name in the name of fun and social media should much definitely be avoided, because you are influencing people in a very wrong way. So I think no, that's a practice that shouldn't be practiced anymore. Coming to experiences. Now, like I said earlier, experiences play a very vital role in individuals' personality build-up, and hence every individual is unique. Experiences make us who we are today, right? Among all the panelists that are there today, among all the people who have joined the session to hear about mental wellness, everybody is unique in their own ways, and the reason they are unique is because of the experiences they had right from the beginning. Again, like I said, it's a game of experiences. You have to play it knowing, unknowingly, and there's nothing much you can do about it. All you can do is just try and hold control of the consequences that is happening and work on yourself so that you can become better than what you are today. Different experiences tell different stories and gather different issues too. Again, depending on the experiences that you're going through, you can come across multiple mental health problems. It is not important that you will be diagnosed with only one kind of mental illness. At times people have two or three kinds of mental illnesses, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It does not mean that just because you're going through something, you should be pinpoint to one particular thing, or just because person X went through one scenario, and person Y went through one scenario, the scenarios were similar. It does not mean that their mental illnesses will be same. It is always different for everybody. So what I want you to do is respect those experiences, because those experiences has made you the person that you are today. Without those experiences, you wouldn't be able to be the person that you are today. So let's be a little thankful to all the experiences, even the traumatic ones, because it had, if nothing, it gave you the courage to deal with situations like you have encountered in the past, right? So I think that is something that we should um, really appreciate. Now, common identifications. Again, identifications can be different for different type of issues, right? We are just going to talk about the common ones, which are very common, and we can find them here and there, even among people, when we surround ourselves with families or friends or acquaintances. Feeling sad or feeling down, like we just took a poll, right? Reduced concentration level, extreme mood swings, inability to cope with regular life, stress, which means that you are unable to take proper decisions, and the daily stress that you get in maybe personal or professional life, major changes in eating habits, problems with alcohol and other illegal drugs, and excessive anger, hostility, or violence. Um, Okay, guys, I have one request to make here in this scenario. If you do not understand somebody's situation, if you are unable to evaluate what they're going through, I really do not want you to go ahead and give them any random advices. It is never advised. I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, I had this friend, and there was a point of time in my life where I was really low, and he straight up walks to me and he's like, "You know what? I think you're low because you keep listening to all these slow songs by Pink Floyd and Beatles. You should listen to Punjabi raps. I think you'll be more happy." As useless as that advice was, I actually started thinking, like, why am I friends with this person in the first place? So it's really stupid. Okay, like if you do not understand that, just accept the fact that you do not understand that and don't give any random advice, please. If you cannot help somebody, let's not make it worse for somebody who's already going through something. Now, how can you help, right? Look out for warning signs should be the first thing, like we just saw in the previous slide. Look out for the warning signs. Some of them can be very visible and you just tend to ignore them because everybody's going through something. Let's not normalize that. Let's make sure that we take our time and analyze that, okay, this person is going through something. Try not to judge. There can be scenarios where you might find that the person that is going through something is not relevant, but then again, it is their story to tell and not yours. Try not to judge them. Be as open as you can. At the end of the day, all people want is a comfortable space to talk to. Talk to the person about how they feel. Encourage them to get help if it is really required. Ask them how you can help. Instead of telling, "Hey boss, do this," ask them how you can be helpful, right? Do not just push our perspective onto their problems because they are going through it, so they understand it in a better way. And of course, help them stay safe. Not everybody has the privilege to stay safe. We in a country like India where people are so different with everybody, and I think not everybody has a proper space where they feel safe. Sometimes even in their own house. So I think the best you can do is give them that space so that they can open up themselves, and you don't have to do it for them. So how might you start a conversation? So after identifying that, okay, this is something, and I need to talk, and then gathering the courage that, okay, you might want to talk to that person about it, right? Because you love them, so you want to talk to them about it so that you can fix it. How you should start a conversation, and these are some points that I think we should adapt so that when we are having this conversation with somebody, we do not trigger something in them because they're already going through something. Show your support, be as open as you can, be as supportive as you can. Ask them how you can help, like we said, instead of like thrusting your opinion, ask them how you can be helpful to them. Be open minded. Don't just talk about mental health because this can be a huge trigger. Okay. I'll give you a very short example. For example, Viral is talking to me about my mental health, and if he just keeps talking to me about my mental health, after a point of time, I might start feeling that okay, we're just talking about this. I might be a burden to Viral, and I don't want to do that. So I myself will tend to take you away from that conversation. Don't do that. Crack jokes here and there. Have a combined conversation where you talk about 10 different things so that the person that you're talking to does not feel triggered or does not feel very centered. Show trust and respect. Look after yourself and be patient. Guys, let me tell you, of course we are talking about how you can look out for other people, how what are the things you should do to make them feel comfortable, but please remember, looking out for yourself should be the first key, right? You have to self analyze and you have to keep yourself healthy, because if you are not healthy in the first place, you won't be able to help others, right? So look out for yourself. That is a very important thing. Again, I'm not asking you to be selfish, but then I think you guys get the point. Now that we have spoken about multiple things, I want to answer a super basic questions about what we just had a conversation about. All right. What do I do if the support doesn't help? If you reach out to somebody and you feel that it is not really helping you, then what can you do in this scenario? What I can suggest you is see, different things work for different people. I think you should be more and more open to the number of solutions that are available in the market. Be adamant that no, I want to fix myself. I want to feel better tomorrow. Try everything until and unless you figure out what works the best for you. Can you prevent mental health problems? I think we all, it's a very common thing. I think we all suffer from something, some or the other thing. But developing our well being, resilience, and seeking help at a very early stage can, I think, help you to have a big damage on the long run. So that is something that I will go ahead and recommend you guys. There are there cure for mental health problems? Now, see, it's much more realistic to find out what helps you, right? So I will recommend you to go out there, try counseling. Counseling helps for a lot of people. It's just talking. If you talk about it, you can fix a lot of problems. If you really require, I think you can also opt for medication, um, practice exercise, have good sleep, make sure that you're getting a proper diet. I think these are the things that can help. Um,
Hey,
Coming
Aniket,
back to,
sorry, one quick time check. We probably will have just another minute for the presentation in case you want to take a few questions towards the end.
yes, sure. I'll just take 2 minutes, okay?
Yep, let's try and wrap it
Sure.
so that you can take a few questions.
Done. So, what do you do if I'm worried about my mental health? Like I said, like try doing exercise or different things that can make you feel good about yourself. What should I do if I'm worried about a friend or a relative? Gently encourage them to seek help or to seek support. It is always recommended. And last thing is, how do I deal with someone telling me what to do? See, people can tell you different things with the best intentions, but then again, like we said, different things work for different people. So figure out what works the best for you, and then work on it. I have one question for you guys. How many of you guys actually take out time on weekends, binge watch Netflix, and sleep deprive yourself? Can you like tell me how many of you guys do it? It is all about self-care at the end of the day. If you are sleep depriving of yourself, you might not have the energy to do the other things that you're supposed to do. So self-care is the key for everything in life, not just mental health. Take care of yourself. So these are a number of things that I do for myself so that I feel good about myself and I can carry on with the week life, right? That is about it. And the last thing that I want to say is I do not wish for anybody that you have to use the help numbers. But if at all you do, please do not hesitate. Use these numbers. Okay. The first number is a toll free number. It is available 24 by 7 and it is given by Union Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry of India. Not just that, Regalix also has a professional counseling partner with by the name Innersight. The number is there right on the screen, and you also have the email address. You can use it if you want to. Please do not hesitate. Okay. So I think with it, I have come to the end of my presentation for today, and let's open up for a few questions. If somebody wants to share something from their part of the story, I will be more than happy to hear them. I think everybody will be.
Right. You want to go off the presentation mode, Aniket, so that people can
Yes.
you can switch off the sharing. Yeah, great. I think there's a question on the chat, Aniket. Nimish, it is. I'm guessing Nimish, you could probably take this one to one. Nimish is asking about how should a person be with her partner who has bipolar disorder? Is there a way to get the person out of it mentally? If you have something which could be generically addressed, Aniket, great. Otherwise, you could probably take it up one to one.
So, Nimish, I had a very close friend who had BPD, and she struggled with it for a really long time. And I can tell you what worked for her. Of course, everybody has different diagnoses, but I think she did not let it out in the first place. And after she told a couple of friends, we used to talk about it a lot, and that gave her encouragement to accept it in the first place. Please know that BPD is something which affects you mentally to a very huge extent, and accepting it is the very basic first part. So if your partner is going is ha- if she has BPD, make sure that you talk to her, give her the space that she can come up to you and talk to you about it. After that, if you want, you can definitely go to psychologists and have a conversation. But the first key should be communication. Like Mohammed said in the chat, communication is the key. That is correct.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else who has thoughts, questions, feel free to put up your questions on the chat group or on the Q&A. Okay, there's another question coming from Suraj. Is difficulty in obtaining proper medical documents around mental health issues a hindrance in acceptance of mental health problems?
Mhm. Why can I not see the question here?
It's in the Q&A, not in the chat. You
Okay.
have to opt for the
Can you
Q&A. Yeah,
Ah.
so I'll read that back to you. Is difficulty in obtaining proper medical documents around mental health issues a hindrance in acceptance of mental health problems? So,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. See, everybody here is a corporate associate. So if I tell tomorrow my manager that, hey, I'm feeling very low, I won't be able to log in. I'm not in the correct mind space. They won't take me very seriously until and unless it's a physical issue. People will not take me seriously. So I think yes, that is true. It is difficult because you generically you do not get a proper medical documentation for mental illnesses. So that is true, and I think that is something that we should change. And when I say we, I mean the society along with the government.
okay, so we have an anonymous attendee who has dropped in a question. How to deal with one parent being drunk and the other parent complaining about the same? Okay, continues. The one parent who is drunk has has lost almost all his family members. Okay, so yeah, Aniket, over to you.
See, at the end of the day, it is family, and you cannot leave family behind. I understand that sometimes, because of the situation that people go through, they can be a little difficult on the other family members. But then, if you love them enough, I think you should consult a psychologist for them. If they're not ready, try and force them a little to go and seek some help, professional help, that is. And I think it is going to work both ways. One parent can never do the same for everybody. It has to work both ways. The person has to understand that for kids, of course, they have to. Oh my God, why is everybody laughing?
No, no, it's more on the question that's coming next from Khadir. Sorry if I made you laugh, but
Okay.
the question is really. Uh,
But yeah, as I was saying, it has to work both ways. Both of them has to put in effort so that their children can have a better tomorrow.
So the question that Khadir has that made me really laugh, Aniket, sorry, I have to probably, I got you off guard completely. The question is procrastination a mental health issue? Do we have any medication to make someone proactive? Wow, I mean, that's a very interesting question. Okay, so yeah, I don't know about medication for sure, but Aniket, do you have anything
I
on
think
procrastination?
procrastination is a form of laziness. It's not a mental issue, okay? And we live in India. It's not California where you can just buy doobies from the medical store. So no, there's no medication for it. I think you just have to work on your mental health. Think in a much positive way so that you work on yourself and take out laziness.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Any other thoughts? Any other questions, guys? Oh, there are a few more questions.
ADHD centric.
How to deal with ADHD centric person takes all my time, and if not given attention, then the person gets very emotional. Help. Wow. Okay.
Okay, this is coming from personal experiences. I am diagnosed with ADHD. The best you can do is um, divide your time, like schedule things, because my ADHD is on a different level. I cannot concentrate at things at all. I keep forgetting things. I cannot pour my complete concentration into one thing that I'm doing. So I schedule them accordingly. I make a timetable for myself. I try and stick to the timetable. It's not always possible, but when I can, I try and do it. And the best thing that you can do is like do some physical exercise. It has helped me as a person. Of course, it can be different for you, but then this is something that has helped me as a person. But then I really hope that you work on yourself and your ADHD level comes down. It's not the best feeling to have.
All right. There's another question. How does one know if other person has mental health issues if not communicated?
There are visible signs, you know. Like we said in the presentation, people tend to avoid talking to people isolate themselves, people change their attitude towards a lot of things, they cut down on communication. There are a lot of visible things that you can notice. So if you notice any of these, just be kind enough to approach them in a comfortable way. Ask them what exactly are they going through, and if they are ready to talk about it, don't force it on them, because that can be a trigger. So give them comfortable space so that even if they're not ready to talk about it right now, then and there, in future, after a couple of days or weeks, if they are, they'll come back to you and they'll talk to you about it.
Cool. Kadir, Revital is not for helping someone with procrastination problem, but it is for helping someone who's aging and to give them more energy when they touch their 40s. Okay. Marilyn is having a jolly laugh out there. Okay, cool. Any more thoughts? Any more questions, team? I think we're almost at time. Let me just check the last question. What helps a narcissist to be a narcissist? Oh my, to not be a narcissist. Oh, sorry. I'll reread that question for you. What helps a narcissist to not be a narcissist? Aniket, if that can help.
Honestly, again, like I said, I do not know what to comment on this, and I do not want to give you any wrong information. But I think narcissism exists every now and then with everybody. It is just the levels of how much it is with you on one particular day.
Okay. If someone feels quite low, should they see a therapist?
If you feel low, there are some exercises that you can do so that you do not feel low. There can be multiple reasons as to why you feel low. First, analyze them. Think what is the reason that you're feeling low in a regular life, and if you feel that that is something that you need to work on, or you think that you're unable to do it yourself, then please definitely go ahead and see a therapist or a psychologist.
Cool. All right. Thank you. I think we'll stop the question answer session there. But thank you for your session today, Aniket. I'm hoping we are able to take away. I'm sure at least something from these sessions, and at the same time be able to help our near and dear ones, ones who are probably facing some sort of mental health issue. But yeah, it's what's important is if you know of someone, talk about it. Let them get help. Don't try and be a doctor yourself, more importantly, because none of us are real doctors. So yeah, seek help, like Aniket has mentioned.
It's great to have a topic like this in ThinkX where we are so openly talking, and the way you have handled such a sensitive discussion point. I think that's really great, Aniket. And I mean, just curious, like, how did you get interested into this?
Honestly, like I mentioned earlier, even I have ADHD. I have my set of issues as well. So I was able to self contemplate these things. I was able to understand. And I am privileged enough to have people in my life who can take out time from their precious time, come to me, talk to me. So if I can understand this, I feel that I really want to thank you, Regalix, for giving me an opportunity like this and a space where I can come ahead and talk about things like these. I think I would really like to educate people who do not know, because sometimes it's not just ignorance. Sometimes it's also the lack of awareness. And I really hope that even if one single person adapted this, what we put out today, I think the whole point of this conversation had reached its merit.
Right. And along with that, I think they have seen a person, is like one of them whom they can reach out to and be comfortable to talk. Not every time you feel like going to a doctor, and at times a friend is more somebody whom you can, whom you
Absolutely.
like to. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
You've touched a very important point, Tanya. A friend, yeah. You reach out to your friends. I think your friends are your best pillars, are your most important pillars in life, I should say. If not family, but yeah, friends can definitely help you.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And we look forward to meeting you all soon. For people who don't know, Founders Day is around the corner. In about a month from now, exactly, we will be celebrating a Founders Day. So look forward to a lot more activities. Please read through your emails. You will have a lot of activities that are planned, a lot of questions that will come your way. So yeah, get geared up
Especially
for
the
it.
Google folks, please open up your Regalix mail IDs. There'll be a lot of things coming.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. You have a great evening and a great weekend ahead.